my name is Phil Buckley, and I had my first hair transplant of 2,174 grafts in May 2021, and my second of 1,406 in July of 2023. I'd like to share my experiences to help you decide if a hair transplant is right for you. So first off, why did I decide to get a transplant? Well, my friend Dan and I had joked about getting hair transplants for years as our hairlines continually receded. But a couple of years ago, we shifted from humor to consideration to serious evaluation. And personally, I had one too many times experienced seeing my reflection and not recognizing the person staring back at me. Who was that old guy? Well, he clearly wasn't someone I wanted to be. So one night we made a pact. We both decided to invest in hair transplants and scheduled our surgeries on the same day. So why Dr. Ashlin Alexander? Our criteria for selecting a surgeon included medical credentials, experience, and personability. Dr. Alexander delivered on all metrics. His extensive training and deep technical and practical knowledge were demonstrated in our initial consultations, as well as his warmth and caring were immediately self-evident. So, how was my transplant experience? Well, it was as described by Dr. Alexander with no surprises. From a pain perspective, there were a couple of moments where it was discomfort, but they were short and slight. And there was always an offer for extra support as that was happening so that I could get freezing and it wouldn't be an issue, but it wasn't required. Also, it was a fun day, and talking to the doctor and the technicians was really interesting and enjoyable, far better than my podcast that I brought thinking I was going to be listening to them. And the healing process was as described as well. And at the 11th day, wouldn't you know it, I needed to facilitate an in-person meeting, which was far earlier than anticipated. And 2 more days of healing would have been better. It would have made me feel better, but I was fine, and I could do that with no head cover. So what were the results? Well, around the 4.5-month mark, my new hair began to grow. And it felt like a miracle to see my new hairline emerge. Also, a cowlick that had frustrated me in my youth was gone. And it felt bizarre to actually go and buy a comb and a gel, which for decades were luxuries I couldn't enjoy. And looking at myself in the mirror was a joy instead of a disappointment for so many years. And Dan, my buddy, he had the same feeling too. Also, a welcome surprise that I hadn't anticipated was that the transplanted hair was darker, which enhanced my younger look. And really, it made me feel kind of someone that, decades earlier than what I was feeling right now. And let me show you a comparison to demonstrate the difference between the two different looks. And what you're seeing right now is on the left was before transplant. The right was probably about 7 months after my first transplant. And these are capture shots from actual Zoom sessions that I was doing with clients. And at least from my perspective, it's a night and day look of how old I look, but also just the person that I believe myself to be. The next question is, why a second transplant? Well, as my 1-year checkup with Dr. Alexander approached, I decided to see if I could have a second transplant, primarily to extend the new hair growth further back on the top or the crown of my head. And when the doctor confirmed I had enough hair to transplant, I booked the next available date for my surgery. My second transplant was a breeze and even more enjoyable than the first because I knew what to expect. And my final question for you is, well, what are my results from my second transplant? It's been 5 months and my hair is growing as I'd hoped, with more hair to grow over the next couple of months. Essentially, I'm thrilled. So this is my story, and in summary, my transplants over-delivered on my expectations. I view them as gifts to myself that I enjoy daily. I look younger, making me feel youthful, vibrant, and confident. And I really, essentially, bottom line is I look like myself, thanks to Dr. Alexander. So I wish you all the best as you consider investing in yourself in this way, and it's been a pleasure to share my journey. All the best.